The following will be a vignette of small little videos that are techniques that you can use Excel to help modify an exported database from Data Manager, quickly make adjustments wholesale in Excel, and then import them back in to Data Manager. There are lessons that are more comprehensive. This is simply just spot checking certain key did you know techniques here. So I've already taken the liberty of exporting out the database and I've opened it up in Excel. One thing to be aware of is everything that is in the SQL database is then flattened out to Excel. So all assemblies, all resources, resource groups, line items, formulas, variables, and units of measure are exported out. A couple of things I'd like to point out in this set of exercises is I have some techniques that I like to share with all of you on making it so it's a lot more visible as to the data that has been exported out. I'm looking at an assembly which is doors, frames, and hardware, and what you'll notice is row 4 is the first choice. Row 3 is the column header for this. In other videos, I've noted that you could select all of this worksheet and then simply just double click, and that's this little arrow pointing into the actual worksheet. And that makes it easier to see the entire set of text of columns that have data filled out. Now, in this assembly, row 4 is the first choice, but then we also have some other choices in row 14 and then 19. I like to use a filter, so selecting on row 3, and then intentionally, and yes, you can get the filter here as well, but I intentionally go over to Data tab and then turn on the filters. Now, that gets me a drop down so that I can start to filter on the data. I like to go ahead and say, for example, select on here, which is my choice name, and then I want to toggle off the blanks and then selecting OK. And notice how it doesn't do exactly what I'd like to do. What I'd really like to do is just see the choices. I can go ahead and release that. Another technique would be to simply come over to, say, in this example, over to item number. And then with item number, if I wanted to just go ahead and see the blanks, I'm still stuck in a way, which is I cannot see everything that I would like to just look at, especially if we had a lot of different choices. So you may have to start to do a compounding of hiding here with multiple filters. So this is blank, and then of course I have this as blank as well, but I'm stuck. So how do we get around this somewhat of an Excelism, which is I like to simply right mouse button click after I've selected on column A and shove this over temporarily. So I'm going to insert a column, and then I'm going to introduce a numeric value. It could be any piece of text. Let's just go ahead and take this a little bit further down than the total. By introducing this, now the filter is more sophisticated, and we can go ahead and simply remove the blanks, and we now isolate on the 3 choices, which is what my original intention is. Now I can select on row 4, Control-C to copy it, and then I can hold down Control key after I selected on row 14 and row 19. A right mouse button click context menu allows me to go ahead and apply the formatting across so I get the gray band. I can release the filter by clearing the filters, and then ultimately, because I now have the banding that I'm looking for, delete column A, and my assembly has been formatted, ready for me to do further editing.